Stu here with Raid Shadow Legends, and we've got a crazy list of champions that are going to be buffed and nerfed in 2.2 in September sometime. Hopefully earlier September, mid-September. I hope it's not going to be late September because we're already getting this information, so we're excited to find out what's going on. Right when I saw this list, a couple seconds ago, I asked the Diamond, I said, does this include buffs and nerfs? But then I said right away I was typing, I said, never mind, don't even answer that. I already see Rhodos and Sifi are on this list. So I know they're going to get a slight nerf. You know that for a fact. You know it's been coming. So it's okay. The whole thing is that we want balance to the game. We want it to be good. Don't worry. Just don't act crazy right now. Let's wait and see what's going to happen. Okay? That's the biggest thing, right? Don't start cursing and being like, oh, this game sucks. My champion that I love the most is being nerfed. I don't care myself personally if all my champions get nerfed. That's fine. We will find other ways to make things work. But I understand you have a limited roster, so it's different for you. But sometimes the game needs to make small changes. And just let's wait and see what they are. Let's not get crazy. Let's just wait and see what they are. Now, if I pulled up every single champion right now out of the roster and went over every single one of their moves, it would take forever to go through. We'd be here for an hour. So let's just read through it. You're just going to have to see this is the background. Look at me and talk about this. I'm pretty sure I know most of these champions. Let's go with Drexstar Blood Twin. You can get him in the bazaar right now. A great champion. If you watch my guide on him and all the information I put out about him, I told you that they were going to buff him and that they were probably going to make his A2, the AoE provoke that does a massive amount of damage, yes, but only maxed out it's a 60% chance to provoke. I guarantee you that's going to be a 100% chance to provoke. I'm hoping his A1 will have a higher percentage to place a burn, or it will just be based off of defense and not defense and attack and hit harder. But either way, that's fine. And then maybe they'll do something with his passive. Maybe they'll make it to where this guy actually actively burns. Like anytime he does damage, he has a chance to apply a burn instead of just being hit. Although if he does have a 100% chance to provoke, it's on a 4-turn cooldown. Maybe that also will go down to 3-turn cooldown. We'll just have to wait and see. The thing is, he's going to be better. We know that 100%. Okay, sore subjects are on the list. Rhodos, Sifi, and Tormund. Duchess, Madam is on there. Coronar's on there. And then Warlord is on there. That's crazy. Kutrexa, she might actually get a buff. I don't know. She does like the highest single target damage. She can do some crazy. And I'm not talking about like on the clan boss. I'm just talking about burst damage, especially in arena. But I bet they're going to do something to help out her survivability because she needs that. Okay, I'm getting off track. Rhodos, next on the list. What do I think will happen with the Rhodos? I think he's going to get an additional turn on his A3. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. It ignores 75% defense. When he kills somebody, he gets an additional turn. So that's really on a 2-turn cooldown. Plus his A1 can do an additional turn. His A2, you know he's going to attack with and get that health back. So he needs it. He definitely needs it. I really hope they do something to his passive. His passive is the most overpowered thing in the game for him to take turns. His passive should just be somewhere around like he gets a 30% turn meter increase when the condition is met where he takes 50% of his HP, right? Just a 30% turn meter increase, not an additional turn. That A3 definitely needs to go from a 3-turn to a 4-turn. And honestly, you could remove the additional turn from his A1. And he would be a crazy champion that still can't be killed in one hit, still does a massive amount of damage. He just wouldn't be over the top, the craziest champion in the game. And he would still be used just as much. Remember, don't get angry at me. We're just talking about it. I don't know what's going on. I had no input into any of this. This is the company, not me. And we'll just have to wait and see. So don't get mad, guys. Overall, it's going to be fun for the game. We're going to be able to... We're flipping things up and down, right? It's going to be fun. Just go with it and wait. Okay, then we have Sifi, right? Sifi, I knew would be changed as well. Hers is the same thing. For all the buffs she does on a 3-turn cooldown, it should go to a 4-turn cooldown, and she should definitely have to have resistance, accuracy on that A1 to put somebody to sleep. For sure. When they're above 50% HP instead of healing, she can just, no resistance needed, no accuracy needed. She cannot be resisted. She will just put somebody to sleep on that A1. She needs accuracy on that, right? We definitely need that to happen. And I think that one move definitely needs an additional turn on her. Her passive is kind of bonkers too, but you know what? With those changes, we could probably leave her alone. Tormund. Tormund has needed some change for quite a long time, guys. I've been a big person to say that Tormund should only freeze you if you do a turn meter increase. And then even then to go further, just because Tormund is an amazing champion all around. Everything he does, and I can name them all, it's so much. He's an amazing champion. he should just do that only if you do a turn meter increase, not if you do a buff and a turn meter increase, or either one, right? Before it was that and healing included with that, which was way broken. So to bring him in line and to make the game better, right? We're trying to make Arena better so that we can bring more champions into Arena and have a better time in Arena and not just be locked into these single overpowered champions that are in most of the teams that you see up there. And you know what? You don't even see Tormund that much in Platinum Arena. I get it because we all have immunity artifacts, but Tormund causes a lot of trouble to people in all the way coming up in Arena, right? The people who don't have the immunity artifacts yet and the rest, it's just not fair to fight a Tormund when you don't have a Tormund in those kind of conditions. So we do need to bring him in line. I even wouldn't mind a cooldown on that, being able to freeze everybody. Put like a 1-turn cooldown on that. That way you have to have a faster Tormund. He has to take a turn before he can freeze again. And definitely, if they're not going to do that, make it to where he cannot use his passive if he is incapacitated. If he's frozen from dying, stunned, poisoned, slept, whatever else, not poisoned, but slept or stunned, that he could not use his passive. That would be great. Duchess Lilitu. I'm surprised they're going to touch her if they do anything to her because her cooldown's 4-turn. We got a 4-turn and then the A1. I'm really surprised because Madam is so strong. If they're going to mess with Madam, which it looks like they might, or they are going to for sure, then okay, I could see bringing Duchess in line. But really, the only thing is her passive negates 25% AoE damage, which we kind of need, right? We need something in the game that negates damage in Arena because you do a massive amount of damage on AoE. So I really don't know what they're going to do with Duchess. I kind of feel like she's okay. She's not a crazy overpowered champion. She's right up there with the top tier. But I feel like, especially with Madam out there, and everybody has Madam, or most of us do, that it's a super hard counter to her. But I don't know what they would do with her. Maybe mess with that passive, maybe do something else. Who else do we have over? We've got Madam. Okay, we're talking about Madam right there. We got Madam Cirrus. What have I always said about Madam? That she does like two things that two different people could do. If she's going to remove all buffs and then decrease defense and decrease attack, it should be one or the other. It should be remove all buffs and then decrease defense, not with the decrease attack, right? And then you could have somebody like Hope, which I do see she's on the list. Hope could do an AoE remove all buffs and then decrease attack, right? Then you've got two different champions kind of doing the similar thing, but a little bit different. And it's not all based in one. My biggest thing has always been, if you've ever watched me, is that having one champion do everything makes it so we don't have to bring in other champions. We don't have to think about what we're doing. We just bring in this one champion that does it all. We don't need any setup and we're done. That's it, right? Rhodos needs no setup with that A3. He's ignoring defense already. He just comes in, kills people, does whatever else, right? So that's one of the things I'm talking about. That's an example of it. Now we've got, so for Madam, I'm pretty sure they're going to do something like that. Honestly, her shield with that fear is really overpowered. Her fears that she puts up on her, all of her stuff is pretty much everything she does is very, very strong. I do not want Madam nerfed to the ground. Honestly, if they got rid of everything else and kept her A3 the same, that'd be kind of cool. If they change her A3 a little bit, keep everything else, like I just said with Hope, then make Hope good as well. Make her so that we can use Hope in those situations. Now we have Coronar. Coronar is a pretty crazy champion if paired with Manaya, and she's not that great. She's okay. So being that said, I don't know what they do. You know, honestly, they might buff him. They might make him a little bit better, but different when paired with her. If anything, they might change that 2-hit that he does on his A1 and keeps dropping turn meters so much, because those two together wreck PvE as well, and it might cause them issues for bringing out new content in the game. Like those two would just run through everything. And I have him. You've seen me just do a video on it. Don't mind it at all. Do whatever you got to do to make the game better, right? So that you can come out with challenging content without us having all these champions that will break everything right away and make it super easy for us. But then you make it so hard that these free-to-play, low spenders, everybody else who has maxed artifacts, great champions, can't do it because they don't have that exact specific champion. That's what I don't like. Whoa, we have Dracomorph in there. Holy crap. Okay, so we've got Blind Seer. Blind Seer is going to get a buff. I've been talking about this for a long time. Depending on how they do everybody, I think Blind Seer is going to get a better, definitely a better revive. And then on her A2, where she puts up shields and blocks debuffs, maybe they'll put that to a 3-turn instead of a 4-turn. And then her A1, I'm hoping, has a higher percentage to drop turn meter. But I'm glad to see that, man. Blind Seer is a great champion. I'm glad to see this. Warlord. I don't feel like Warlord needs a change at all. Like, nothing about him I feel like needs a change. Maybe I don't know what they feel like about him, but I kind of feel like Warlord is in that special spot where he can do something amazing in Arena, and then as far as everything else in the game, he's great as well. He's not overpowered. He just has that special ability, right, to drop the turn meter, to put your skills on cooldown, and it goes through immunity, right? We know that. It goes through immunity, so it's very strong. I just don't know what they're going to change on him. Maybe one of those components in there. Drop turn meter, reset cooldown, one or the other. Maybe they're going to change that. Maybe they're going to make it, maybe they're going to improve him. Who knows? Maybe they're going to make it so that he can do debuffs easier. Who knows? We'll find out. Kutrexa is next on the list. She does a massive amount of damage, takes an additional turn. She can definitely delete people, but I think she has a problem with survivability. That buff that she gets to rebirth doesn't really work with her. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say she's going to get a buff. She's going to get a way to have her survivability increase, which makes me think they're going to have a Neathweed Blood Twin on here. No, they don't. Okay, Gorgo. Gorgo, I've always said, needs a buff, is a hard champion to work with. I bet he's going to get a buff. First off, he might even just get some numbers changed with his speed or his accuracy or both. But what he does is fine. He removes a buff. He removes a buff from the enemy, a random buff, and then freezes everybody and then gets an additional turn. There's nothing wrong with the champion. It's just very hard to play him. I guarantee he's going to get a lower cooldown on his A3 to AoE freeze and remove something. Other than that, he doesn't need a lot of change. He just needs speed, accuracy, and then attack, and then crit, and everything. He just needs a lot of stuff, right? If you're going to play him in an effective way, he needs a lot, and it's hard to do that. So I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe they'll make it like irresistible. That would be pretty crazy. Then you could just build him all speed and some attack and whatever else. But he needs a little something because Ray kind of outshines him big time too. So he needs something. Smash Lord, Hawkhorn Smash Lord, great champion. Everything about him is great except for the one where he kills himself. Like there's really nothing wrong with that champion at all. A1, A2 was fantastic. A3, where he sacrifices half his life, he always kills himself, and then does a massive amount of damage, and it's really not even that massive, should be changed. It's kind of the same way that Blind Seer kills herself on her A3 and revives people. So that will be changed as well. I guarantee you he's getting a buff. Dracomorph, nerf, man, right across the board. You know it's gonna be a nerf. And I'm glad. I just got 2 recently and I'm able to kill things. They're nerfing him first off because we're able to do 1 key and Ultra Nightmare fairly easily, right? With the Bat Eater comps and other things. And because with him in any kind of clan boss team, your damage just increases a crazy amount. An astronomical amount, more so than anything else in the game. So then there again, we have that one champion that just makes content kind of trivial if you have that one champion. And he speed runs for everything else. What will they do with him? Maybe just lower the amount of damage he does, right? Maybe lower a little bit of his poison so you don't put up as many poisons. Maybe he's not going to do additional surplus damage hits. And then I'm sure he's still going to do decreased defense and and weaken. I'm sure he's still going to do that. He will. So don't worry, Dracomorph. Don't worry, guys. Just don't worry. Gerp Tuck. We know that's a buff. We know that right away it's a buff. Maybe they're just going to mess with the amount of damage we take for using him. I love his passive. I love getting that additional damage, but obviously on paper it looks cool, but it doesn't work out. He needs to heal us more if he's going to hurt us that much. So they're going to do something cool with Gerp Tuck. We know that's coming. Abyss. I've been talking about her forever. A fine champion, but you never have a legendary that has an AoE decreased defense of 60%, but not at 100% chance to apply. Just an old champion. They're just bringing her up to the times. I kind of hope they fully revise her and she's just like a totally different animal. Just amazing A3, but then maybe do something crazy with her and throw us for a loop and we're like, wow, new champion, great new champion for a whole bunch of things out there. Bellinor, we knew this was coming as well. He also has really good moves. They're just a lot of single target moves. He's going to get improved. We know for a fact, even if they just made him AoE, do some AoE stuff, great. Astrolith on this list applies a bomb, can switch health. She can actually be really good. The turn meter increase on the A1. She has a lot of things going for her. The problem is, the fundamental problem is that bombs are no good in this game. And I don't see War Mother on here, so I'm already very, very sad. Bombs do not work in this game. And until they find a way to get rid of bombs or make bombs viable, we're not going to have anybody like War Mother, Astrolith, or luckily Lord Shazar. Yes, I know. But if he crits, so he's got to have a lot of things going for him. Speed, crit, then the bombs will be on the one turn. When they take a turn, they explode. Maybe Astrolith is going to go to an AoE bomb setup or totally switched. Who knows? Norog. I think everything about Norog is great. It's just that he's very lackluster. Even if we brought up his damage a crazy amount, maybe 3 hits on the AoE, block buffs I think he puts on people from that AoE, that's great. and he's defensive base. They switched him to defensive base a while ago. He has a fantastic passive, 15% less damage for all allies. So I don't know how they're going to switch him around. I hope just to make it so he does more damage, right? So he's more fearsome. And as far as his passive and his block buffs that he puts up on the enemy, those are good. Those are good things that he does. And I'm glad to see him coming. You know he's going to be a buff. You know, we got Bystopsis. I have Bystopsis. I haven't played him a lot. Hits very hard. Attack champion. Just doesn't have a lot going for him. So I'm sure they're going to switch him up in a good way that he's going to do the mass amount of damage that he does right now. And you know, he can do the conditions. It's the conditions. Wow, they put up they put up something for me when I'm not even playing the game. There you go, in your eyes, Stu, and at. You know, he puts up decreased defense. He does those other things, but I think there's conditions that need to be met. Like you got to have block skill cooldowns or block whatever else up, and they're going to remove that, I'm sure, because any legendary that has those kind of conditions on them, where you've got to meet some kind of crazy requirement for them to put up a debuff, is just silly. Very, very silly. So they're going to be changing that. Who else do we have on the list? Sorry, I want to go through this quick. It's going to take forever. We have Kandra. Kandra, I did a video on him. They're probably going to change him up the way I talked about. I really hope they do. They're going to make this so that he can take an additional turn, right? An additional turn when he buffs up here. And then that means we need to make this a little bit like 1 turn longer cooldown. And then he can come in for an attack. So he can buff himself, go Veil, do that damage. He'll get an additional turn here if he kills somebody, and then that's it. But you need to make it a little turn cooldown longer, because if he's just cycling through additional turns, 3 turn cooldown booked out, additional turn, killing somebody, additional turn, it's going to be wild. But there's not a lot. I'm sure there's not a lot they're going to do with him. They're just going to make him better. Elder Scar. Didn't I play Elder Scar recently? I could swear I did. Yeah, I did. And he is the same way, right? He is the exact same way. Great champion. He's just shadowed by Mashalad, who does amazing things. But this move right here needs to happen. He needs to take an additional turn afterwards and then come in with a single target hit. I would prefer this to be an AoE hit, and then he takes an additional turn after this. I guarantee they're going to do something. I don't think they're going to go out and change a whole bunch of these champions to be completely different. I don't think that, because they have other champions on the drawing board, new champions that they want to bring out into the game, right? Introduce new champions. So they're not going to go all the way and change all their stuff. But if they just gave us an additional turn here, make this an AoE, and then he has a single target, then he's a fine champion. We can go back to the drawing board with him later on, but at least then he's better, right? And I don't expect all these champions to turn into amazing champions. I mean, look at this list. You already see we went through all the legendaries already, and a lot of them are going to be nerfed. So it's not a crazy, like I said, with this coming out, this is not going to be some crazy, like a week or 2 weeks later, we're all going to be like, okay, these champions are changed. Where is our new content? 100% we're going to talk about that. Alika is actually a really good champion. Does some crazy damage. Alika does a crazy damage. Barbarian. I don't know what they're going to do with her, but she does a lot of damage already, and she has great moves. I think like 20% increase crit on everything. She can evaporate somebody on her A2. I can't remember, but I know Alika was hitting really hard. I have her at 60 as well. Canoness needs crazy amount of love, so I'm glad they're working. These are epics, guys. Hope needs a lot of love too. Hopefully we'll have 100% to remove all buffs and then do something else. And then we've got Rowan. Rowan, Jesus, Rowan. I want to show Rowan because I've talked about her forever, and it's such an easy fix. And I hope they're going to do exactly what I've talked about so many times with easy fixing Rowan, that she's a great champion, right? There's no reason why she should not be like Aethar or Kale. This right here puts up poisons at 100% chance on like a 3-turn cooldown, and then that's it. She's like Aethar, she's like the rest. We keep her with this, and then she becomes a clan boss poisoner, a dragon poisoner, a whatever else poisoner. She looks cool as hell. So I hope they're gonna fix that. Then we've got Snorting Thug. He never hits hard enough. He can't ignore defense with conditions met. They're gonna fix him up. We've got Taurus. I don't know why they're messing with Taurus. We found good uses for Taurus with his poisons, especially with Poison Explosion. So I don't know what they're gonna do with him. But his kit actually has a weaken on the A1 too. He has a pretty good kit, so I don't know why they're messing with Taurus. Shawi the first, is this that firstborn girl? I can never say her name anyways. No, not her, not Aina, but the firstborn. She's a void. Yeah, they've needed to. Like, we saw her come out, and we've said, like, what are you doing with this champion? What's going on with this champion? Yo, if we don't have Exemplar, whatever her name is on this list, then they don't know what's up. They definitely don't know what's up. She's not on there either. So, firstborn is going to be changed up. Mauve is going to be changed up. Thesada. Okay, we got a lot. I mean, are these like all barbarians? Did they just decide to go to the barbarians and switch them all up? Jotun. We got Missionary, which Missionary came out like not too long ago, right? So we got another Sacred Order that's just like our boy Bushi, but I don't know why it went here. But Missionary is going to be changed up somehow. I'm not going to read over all these things. We know they're going to be changed up. I don't even remember Missionary's kit. Nobody does. But I'm hoping he's going to be a cool champion. He looks pretty cool. Maybe he will be pretty decent after this. Bonekeeper can hit really hard. Like, she gets additional critical damage when she hits. Nothing really too special with her. So I'm hoping they make Bonekeeper worthwhile. I believe she's an orc. Then we've got the Pitiless one. I've wanted to see him made better. I've wanted to use him. I've got him up at 60, I believe. So we'll see what they can do. He's got that AoE. He's got this. He's got the passive here. So, I don't know. I don't know what they can do with them. They'll spruce them up somehow. Hexia, good. And then Bushi. Okay, cool. Bushi. They're going to make Bushi better. And Azur. Azur has needed an update. We've talked about him many times. I've seen him. Every time I see somebody do some Void summons and they pull him, I feel so bad. Void Epic should never be terrible. But whenever I see him, it's just like... And this is the second time up, I believe. This should be a lower cooldown, of course, because we're doing the Ally Protect 3-turn cooldown. And then the rest, whatever. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I'm sure it's going to get... Again... It's going to be something cool, maybe some more people that can put Leech up for their clan boss, or maybe some other changes. But that's it, everybody. This is what we're looking at. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Even if you're mad and raging, I don't care what they are. Just let me know your thoughts down below. Don't put it toward me. Don't put this on Stu. This is them changing some things and getting things in order. Okay, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate your time. I will see you all on a video soon.